Hey guys, so today I was in the mood to talk about the Spanish Inquisition, and I thought we would discuss Juan de Mariana. He was a 16th century Jesuit scholar whose writings and ideas really could have gotten him into trouble. So we're going to find out what he did and if anything happened to him. And to understand Mariana, we kind of have to understand the times. So it's 1500s in Spain. It's a time of fear. I mean, they rule by tyranny, right? Like if you even remotely act like you don't believe what they say, like you're in trouble, right? And they're accusing people that even didn't do anything. And Spain had owned parts of Europe. They owned parts of the Americas. Like they at the time felt all powerful, right? And Mariana, so he was born in 1536 in Talavera de la Reina. And he, at a pretty young age, became a Jesuit scholarship. And he was considered brilliant. Just brilliant scholar, showed lots of promise. He was deeply interested in history, theology, and philosophy. And just, he was so respected for his time. Mariana was kind of a combination. He was devout. He was a devout religious person, right? But he was also ambitious. And he really questioned the why behind stuff. So he became famous for his work and especially with his writing. And his very first book was called History de Rubis Hispaniae. And I realize I am probably not pronouncing that correctly, and I apologize. But it was like a deep dive history writing book for Spain from the ancient times all the way to the present day in the 1500s. And it was very accurate, very detailed. In the book, he also had some moral teachings that some of the higher ups, the authorities, could potentially start getting nervous about. Why was he questioning stuff? Why was he giving these moral lessons? So he, even right from his first book, he was walking a line. So in 1598, he wrote his second book. And this is the good one. So this one was called, and let me look at my notes real quick. So it was called De Rege et Regis Institutione. Again, apologies, Mariana, I know I'm saying this wrong. But this was a guide for rulers, right? Supposedly, like a manual for kings. And, but hidden between the lines, he's questioning monarchs and the kings, right? And he has something that really strikes a nerve. And he said that a tyrant who ruled unjustly could, under certain circumstances, be lawfully removed, even assassinated. Let that sink in for the times. That's kind of a scary thing to say during those times. This was a time where it was like divine right monarchs, right? It's like saying anything against them is like saying something against God, right? And it could be considered trying to start a rebellion. And there were some whispering, I maybe need to keep an eye on this. And then there's others that were applauding. So, yeah, the authorities and the inquisitors, not so happy about this book. So what did the inquisitors do? And surprisingly, they didn't arrest him or put him on trial. What they did do was censor his book. They removed words, they took out passages, removed phrases. They, changed it for him. But it didn't stop him. He kept writing. He kept getting it out there. But because he was a respected, well-known Jesuit historian, it kind of protected him. So Mariana knew that this could get him killed, but he kept writing anyway. And he would frame it as like a moral or ethical discussion. Just a discussion. We're not calling to action, it's just a discussion. Right? And so he did this for years, and he did keep circulating it, and it started to spread across Europe. It went to France, it went to Italy, it went to the Netherlands. Like it was getting out there. And as it's spreading, like the nobles are starting to talk about it. It becoming like he's a secret celebrity of controversy. And people are starting to ask the questions. When is a ruler a tyrant? Can citizens resist tyranny? What are the moral responsibilities of those who witness injustice? It's getting people talking. So Mariana lived like this for years, for decades, right? Always kind of walking the line. The Inquisition monitored him. The monarchy was suspecting him, but they never did anything about it because Mariana was always careful with his words. He's always shrouding it in moral, ethical ponderings, right? So because he's never calling to action, and he's so respected as a scholar and a historian, they don't do anything. They just kind of let him keep doing what he's doing. And Mariana actually lived until 1624, leaving behind a legacy of his teachings that still today can spark debates about tyranny and justice and injustice. So he really left behind his stamp, his mark on the world. So that is Juan de Mariana's story. If you liked this story and you want to hear more, follow me, give me a like, share it. And I have a question for you. So if you were Mariana, would you be brave like him? Would you be covertly questioning the monarchy and the inquisitors, knowing that it could get you killed? Let me know in the comments. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.